Okay, for the next stage, and that is to fit this router spindle mounting onto the lower half of this right there. And to do so, I'm going to make a simple jig. I require a jig because the holes, I'm going to put 4 holes through here and 4 holes in the plate itself, and they have to be fairly accurate. So I'm going, and because this is a rounded base and I have to drill it up that way down through this way, I have to support it like this. So I'm going to make a simple jig out of some 4x2 to hold it square underneath the drill press to drill them. But I've got a little job to do, which you may have the same problem. So this is a very, very good casting, very good quality. However, they have sort of faced it, or should we say half faced it, and I've just put a bit of paper on there, and you might be able to see there's a machine mark there. Let's pick it, that might be better. You see the machine mark here? Well, this is ever so, a couple of thousandths of an inch, maybe a little bit more, maybe about 5,000, stood proud of the rest of this. So that means when it's bolted onto the face plate here, or the Z-axis plate, it's going to be cockeyed. So I'm going to surface this very simply, and I'll show you how to do that. So you don't need anything very high-tech, or you don't need any high-tech equipment. All you need is a nice flat surface. This is a little bit of MDF actually, and a nice bit of, what is this, 80 grit. And it'll take about probably maybe 20 minutes. Hold it flat. And it's coming down all right. I did give this a bit of a rub on here before to clean it up so you could see, the machining mark easier, but this is the way to get it down. Okay, can you see that? I've got to get the right light for you to see. I think you can see that there. Well, basically all around the perimeter there is, you can see it's machined, but the center it has not. That is because I would suspect that the big mill or whatever was used to surface this, I'd say it was at a tram, and yeah, you can see the result. But now I know this is going to be nice and square on here. So I'm going to mark out and drill this first. Then I will clamp this to this plate and then drill that plate out through this. In other words, use this as a template after I've drilled this out. When you're marking out aluminium, especially something nice and shiny like this, when you're trying to put a scribe line on there to mark out exactly where you want to put a hole, just a little tip, get a Sharpie, and just colour in the area where you know that you're going to, the rough area, you're going to put a hole and give it a few minutes to dry. I mean, the real marking stuff is called Engineer's Blue, but a lot of you won't have that, and this works just as well. Give it a good coating, wait for it to dry. Now you can use a ruler and just put a little mark, and then draw a line, but I find it easier with a pair of these. I've got it I've already got it set at 10 millimeters. So see the line much easier, at least I can from here. Don't know whether the camera's picking that up. So I do it a bit deeper for it. Might pick up a bit better. Okay, so I've just simply got an Yuyong clamp and I've clamped it to this Z-axis plate, and I can feel that that is pretty level. I can't feel a difference there at all. I just want to make sure I have got this in the central position, and I got 6 millimeters there, and we're at 6.5 there. That's a little better. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just mark the plate underneath for drilling. So I've got the same size drill as this, which is a tap-in size for 8mm metric. So I'm just going to mark the plate on the back side. You need to get it as close as you can, like this. But what I'm going to actually do is drill these holes oversize, so I have wiggle room, and I can tram it in, So the spindle is absolutely vertical. So I'm just marking the plate. That's all I was after. I mean, you could go through the trouble of actually scribing lines and marking it out, but this is a lot easier. But so now all I got to do is dismantle this whole plate and well, drill these holes out and tap the thread in them. And again, nothing fancy or complex. Just a piece of MDF, piece of 4x2, and just a bit of packing material here, and this just happens to be the right size, just to hold it flat. As long as you're careful, you don't need a vise of any sort. All you have to, this is a pilot hole. This is a 1/8 inch. So we'll drill that. I'm just going to sort of nip them up, not exactly tighten them down, because I'm going to want to, you know, sort of get the motor vertical. Where's my hammer? So now what I want to do is fit the spindle in and have a look, see what it looks like. Okay, so now is quite a significant moment. Putting the spindle in here. It's going to take on a whole new appearance, I think. Let's just check. I'm going to have to open that up a little tiny bit, I think. This type of clamp, it has two clamping bolts, and this is a spreader. So I've already slackened these off, so that probably should be enough. Put a block of wood under there, because it's about 11-12 kilos, okay, which is about 25 pounds. So it's a fair old amount, you know. So I want to take it in there slowly and just let it come down to rest on here. I'll go and grab it. So this is a 3 horsepower or 2.2 kilowatt. Not quite going to go in there, is it? Oh, I can't hold it with one hand, really. So it's a fair old sizable motor. Oh, there we go. Coming through. And this is how I normally adjust my spindle in its housing, because it's adjustable by 125mm, as well as what's in here. So take it about halfway, I think. Maybe a little more. Put those out the front like that. I think that'll be just fine there. And release this. And then tighten these up. Beautiful. And that's what you should be able to do with the weight of this on here. It shouldn't drop down by itself, okay, which it doesn't, and you should be able to screw it all the way up and down with your fingers and be able to feel the resistance there. Look at that. I'll zoom you out a bit. So we've achieved a lot in this video. May not look too much, but you know, sort of getting all these drawings somewhere near right, and you know, getting this mounted in here, you know, it's quite an achievement. And bar the little housing here, which connects the Z-axis ball nut to this drive plate, Z-axis drive plate. You know, this has all been handmade with a cordless drill and a good saw to cut the aluminium, and just drills and files and nothing else. You know, sort of measuring equipment. It would pay to get one of these. This is a vernier, digital vernier. I find these easier to read, especially at my age. And precision little engineer's rule, you know, and 12-inch rule, or 300 millimeters, and a square. I've got a couple of different squares I use. This is one. You can, you know, do a lot with this, like line the gantry up and what have you, which I've done roughly just to, you know, get it assembled. But, you know, when I've completed it, it'll all need fine-tuning, which is done fairly easily. So I'm very happy. Very happy I've got this far. I'm a little bit behind schedule. Was hoping to have this running by the end of January, but I don't think I will. But we'll see. So, thank you for joining me for this video. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe, and if you would like to support the channel, and if you like what I'm doing and you would like to support the channel, you could go and visit my Patron pages. There's a link for Patron down underneath this video in the video description area. You'll also find a 20% discount for Fusion 360. Also a discount code for the Carveco programs. That is well worth it, and it even applies to the industrial program. So, you know, you can save a lot of money with that. Also, if you're in the market for a new computer, Hewlett & Packard, there's a discount code for the Hewlett & Packard laptops, all desktops, all printers, any of their products there. So, thank you for joining me, and I hope you tune in for the next exciting episode of building this, the AMAX CNC Router, all hand built. Bye for now.